let's catch up with an old friend of CodeTalk. Hi, I'm Thain. Welcome to another SAP CodeTalk. And as I said, an old friend, but a young lad. That's so English. Kevin Muessig, thank you for joining me.
Hey Ian, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. Kevin, we're all in lockdown, but it's great for me because actually I get to spend some time talking to you and to ask you, what missions have you been working on at the moment? Because I'm assuming with lockdown, you're really turning into this content machine. But so what missions have you been producing for the iOS SDK lately?
Yeah, with the new SDK version 5, we got Mac Catalyst support. So I thought it would be nice to have a new grand mission taking care of Catalyst, but also showing you how to build a regular app and really getting started with the SDK. And it's out now on developers.sap.com.
So it is actually out now. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just in case, I mean, there may be people that are watching our CodeTalk that maybe aren't iOS developers, and the word catalyst to them has other connotations. Can you just, for the non-iOS developers out there, just give our audience a little bit of an update on what that is?
Mm-hmm. Really, basically, it's more or less that you can run your iPad app on Mac. That's what it is. Like in a really, really basic way.
Okay.
So you can develop your app and then run it on Mac if you want to.
Yeah.
And you're not using any iOS standalone frameworks.
Okay. I mean, actually, the developer in me just straight away thinks, how does that work with the code line itself? Is it a different code line, or how does that work?
You have the same code line in general, but you can have conditions in there where you can say, okay, if you're running on Mac Catalyst, please execute that code. Mm-hmm. Or the other way around, right? If you're not running on Mac Catalyst, execute that code. So that's how you can put functionality and features into your application, which are only going to be displayed or executed when running on Mac Catalyst, or only when running on iOS. And that's how you can kind of divide functionality and features in your app without having multiple code lines.
Okay. I mean, I know for the SDK for iOS, we have Fiori for iOS, which is our user interface. And taking a step back from that, and again, sort of going down the same route as I just asked a second ago, I know for a fact that within the Apple frameworks, there's something called UIKit. And I'm assuming there's a UIKit for iOS and there's a UIKit for macOS as well.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
so for macOS, it's called AppKit. And both of those frameworks are standalone and next to each other, right? But we're now able to run our UIKit code and our app code on Mac. And Apple takes care under the hood that they translate everything correctly, that you have like window resize in the Mac, and you have like the maximize and minimize buttons and all those kind of things. So Apple takes care of all of that for you. The only thing you got to do is you got to go in and enhance the menu, for example, or change the UI a little bit here and there so it looks more like a Mac OS application. And in the mission, you will learn that. Like you start out building an iOS app, then you will run it on iPad, and then you will go in and run it on Mac and make changes to the UI to actually fit it more into the Mac. And because the SDK UI components are native Swift components from UIKit, they just run on Mac OS. Because we made sure that they look good, that they render fine, that they perform good, and everything like that in version 5 of the SDK.
And that is so Fiori for iOS is all up to date with that stuff.
All up to date with that stuff. Yep.
Okay. And as I said, right at the start of our CodeTalk, I mentioned the fact that we're on lockdown. You'll probably turn into a content producing machine. So I thought I'd also give you a little bit of time to tell everybody what you're doing outside of tutorials with regard to Kevin's content. And now, I don't think you're going to call it Kevin's content, but I think it's called Kevin's Coding Bites, I think maybe.
So Kevin's Coding Bites is an idea where I wanted to give the audience small bits of content they can just follow along, like during their coffee break or lunch break or whatever. It's not too long. It's like between 10 and 20 minutes, so it's easy to consume. It's pretty much just stuff I do daily, and if I see it and I think like, oh, that's cool, that could be interesting to anyone else, I just record it, put it out there, and people can watch it.
Excellent.
So that's one of the biggest formats from my side on my YouTube channel I'm having right now. As soon as my internet gets stable again, I will start with the streaming part.
Everybody's trying to stream and use the internet at the moment, Kevin. So bandwidths are sort of like shrunk, I guess.
I mean, I live in the Bay Area, where I think 90% of the people work in tech, and they all work from home. So yeah.
Right, okay. So actually, going back to Kevin's Coding Bites, again, just let the audience know what episode you're up to, and maybe just very briefly what each episode consists of.
I forgot what I've talked about in my Coding Bites. I think like the first episode was my catalyst, just a recap of what I showed in DJ Stream. And then I'm talking about loading data and displaying data, for example. I'm talking the next video is going to be about the mobile services feature set. Like, on mobile services, all the features you can add to your application, what they mean, what they do, without going into detail on how to set them up, just in general, like an overview. And then a lot of people out there asked me to do a basic Swift video for ABAP developers. So one of the videos is going to be like just a basic rudimentary Swift language. And the same I do for iOS, like what is a storyboard? What is a view controller? How to put them in, how to set everything up that it works. So those are going to be the next 3 videos. And I'm working on something big right now, which has nothing to do with iOS. So there's something coming as well.
Well, we'll keep that in the wings for a future Code Talk. And actually, one of the things I will mention about is what you reminded me of. You did hang out with DJ on his hands-on coding with Q Macro, so that was a nice appearance there, I guess.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, that was my very first live stream ever. Usually, I talk in front of people or like at workshops or whatever. So this live stream was totally new experience, and it was fun. And DJ was a great host. So yeah, I would recommend every advocate in our team to go on DJ's live stream and be a guest there. That's
a challenge for the other advocates. Okay, so Kevin, we covered Catalyst. We covered the fact that you've been doing some new tutorials. You've got this Kevin's Coding Bites, and you've got something under your wing in the background that we should going to catch up with you later. So thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully we'll get through all this. Keep safe, Kevin, and we'll speak to you again soon.
You too. See you next time.